Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. I am going to have a poll. If you guys can try to fill that out, that would be fantastic. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We'll give everyone another minute, 2 minutes to join. We are expecting a good amount of people for this one, so might have to might have to be a little patient. Welcome everyone as you guys trickle in. It's nice to see some existing faces and some new names as well. Welcome. And I think we could give everyone just another 40 seconds or so to join, and then we should be starting pretty soon. For those who are joining, we do have two poll questions. If you guys could go ahead and fill that out, that would be fantastic. Give it a few more seconds, and I think we could start. And I think we're good to go. So, first, thank you everyone for joining. This is going to be a fantastic live demonstration. And the reason for that is that we have invited our ERP partner, Deskera, to join us. So, thank you, Shrab and Jesse, for joining us today. It's great to have you guys. The goal of this partnership is to be able to take manufacturers from design to BOM through changes all the way through production, finance, and really getting the product that you guys are making to your customers. So the goal of this live demonstration is pretty simple. It's to show you how you can be doing this. And we'll also try to keep about 10 to 15 minutes at the end. That is going to be open. You guys can ask questions. Also, apologies in advance if we can't answer every question. We could always schedule more time to answer those if necessary. So, really, what this partnership is going to help you guys do is to achieve your goals. And for manufacturing companies, that's going to be producing high quality products, build a great supply chain team, create a great team, reduce costs, increase profits. And with OpenBOM and Deskera coming together, we can really target the pains manufacturers face that prevent them from achieving their goals. And these are going to be organizing product information, making sure that the information is accurate, accelerate processes for new product developments, and also other processes down the line as well. Mitigate risks. This could be for supply chain and compliance. And now products nowadays require maintenance and refabrication. So with OpenBOM and Deskera coming together, you're really going to start to see that these different silos are going to be demolished. And these different silos is kind of what we refer to as the manufacturing maze. And all of the data that you are going to be sending to another team member, it all has to originate from somewhere. It could just be an engineer creating a SolidWorks file, or it could be a document that is sent to you from a contractor. However, as you start to send these to more and more people, things are going to get lost. And then companies start to ask themselves, is the data that engineering has consistent with what procurement has? And this is when we really get to this moment right here. This is kind of where the problems start to come up and mistakes are made, such as ordering at the wrong time, working on incorrect data. And of course, all of these mistakes lead to purchasing parts at the wrong time, pushing back assembly, and products won't really be able to get to where they're supposed to at the correct time. So what you are going to see in our demo coming up is how OpenBOM and Deskera work together to provide you with an integrative platform to create a single source of truth that is automatically shared with colleagues, contractors, and suppliers all around the world. And here I'm happy to introduce Jesse to talk briefly about Deskera before we hand it over to Pedro and Shrub for the demo. So Jesse, please take it.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared. Yes, as Jared mentioned, OpenBOM and Deskera have come together really to get you from that design all the way to producing that material. So OpenBOM and your CAD system, for those who are using OpenBOM already, are already getting you 75% of the way there. Deskera really comes in to finish the loop. So we pick up where OpenBOM leaves off, which is what you're going to see today. We're going to take that BOM that's created and pull that in to the actual manufacturing of that product. So the work orders, job cards, being able to schedule that out. Deskera is an all-in-one ERP, manufacturing-focused ERP. So we've got everything from your material planning through scheduling, production, work orders, job cards, even quality assurance. And then all that ties right into your financials. So understanding what products need to come in and go out, that shipping to that customer, and then the accounting on the back end. So that's really what we're going to talk about today.
Fantastic. So let us move it to our speakers. First, Pedro, can you get started?
Okay, thanks, Jared. So I'll be going through a live demonstration today. So I'll show my screen. Someone just to tell me that the screen is showing up. If it is available, and I'll show you the process under the design, PLM side of things. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'm going to open OpenBOM, which is, again, online tool, cloud-based. So you log in and you have access to the latest bill of materials, latest documents, latest product structures. So it starts with design. So it starts to managing your drawings, your CAD models. So OpenBOM can manage and revise, your CAD files, your drawings. The story for today is going to be to produce and manufacture a bike. So it's an easy product to understand, the number of components, number of wheels. So it's you understand what sort of components will be in it. So that's a great example to use to go through the design and producing this product. So we're gonna go through. Obviously, we have this model fully designed in SolidWorks. So this will be our main product for today that we're going to see. So it's fully designed in 3D, and we're going to create a bill of material from here just in a moment. We're going to also go through change management. So if you see, we're going to go through an example where obviously changes are important, making revisions, making the right decisions about making changes. We're going to go through a change and a quick revision on the frame. So it's a story on an example where the frame has a weak point, and we're going to go through and make a revision of this frame to make a better version of it. So we're going to go through that quickly. And then we also have features for managing vendors and managing item master and catalogs. So that creates a great staging of data between design, between CAD or 3D, and an ERP system that is also item-centric. So PLM is item-centric, so everything from consumables, items, it is tracked and managed. And from the PLM, you can also have great visualization tools. So this helps you in making better, faster decisions to understand where components are used, for example. So we have visualizations to go through and navigate and see, how many do I have in stock? Where is this product used? So all this navigation can give you this drill down information to make the right decisions faster and make them, quicker. Because OpenBOM also has inventory management features. We can track and synchronize quantity on hand, costs. So all these sort of attributes can help you to make faster decisions. Obviously, you can drill down to bill of materials at any time. So you can open this item and drill down to a bill of material. and then see, you know, the parts list, the components that composes each product. The interface is very similar to Excel, so this helps you know, user adoption. So it has a, you know, very quick learning curve. So, you know, anyone can use and configure and work with OpenBOM. So that's you know, a great tool to go, you know, beyond Excel, move away from Excel and start using you know, a proper tool for BOM management. So let's go into our design and go to our example with our bike. So I'm going back to the designer, to the engineer role. He's using a CAD tool, in this case, SolidWorks. He has completed his product. He has completed filling, you know, information like part numbers and information that you can cross-reference to, you know, the physical items. So in this case, this bike doesn't exist yet in PLM. It's brand new, and we're going to create it from scratch. So uh, all you need is a button. That's what people ask. So we have designed you know, a system that's very simple to use. You know, very minimal configuration. It works out of the box. So you click a button, and your full BOM, your full structure of items and assemblies will be created. We're also creating PDFs automatically from drawings. So this can be, you know, released and shared with others, shared with procurement, shared with other parties later, or accessible through integration too. So this is the result of the completed bill of material. And again, you can see all levels, multi-level. So we can see assemblies, sub-assemblies, what composes that reflector. For example, you have very easy navigation tools. You can also add more items to the bill of material very easily. So again, how important it is to have a full item-centric environment where you can insert from your, you know, from your item master, from your parts list, from your catalogs. So you can create a full complete BOM from and work with a full complete digital BOM instead of having just you know, a CAD bill of material, or you have to deal with this later, and then it's harder to reconcile and manage changes. So you're adding like non-model items, like consumables, things that you might not have in your CAD models, and you can work towards having this over and over. So we're gonna just freeze a revision, create a revision here, so we can then compare how different revisions work. So let's do that. Let's create quickly a new revision and make a few changes. So I'm gonna create revision A for now, and I'm just to speed things up. I'm an administrator. I'm a super user, so I'm going to approve changes and create revisions just for the demonstration purposes. But this could go through approvals, through different, you know, an engineering manager, through an approval workflow. In this case, I'm just going to approve for the demo purposes. So at any time, the revision A is frozen. So we're going to go through doing a revision and revise the frame, and you know, just then see those changes being done in OpenBOM. So let's do that. Let's go back to the designer role and make those changes. So the frame is, you know, that's the weak point that we have there. So we're going to just make a few changes, and part of the engineering change, it was that this was too weak. So we're going to make just a bit of a better round corner there, just to, so it's not that quick. And we're going to update the drawing from CAD, from SolidWorks. So I'm going to just lead by example, and also, you know, create a revision in the drawing. So let's do all those functions there. There we go. And revision B, and we're gonna also lead by example, and this is ECO 24. So the revision is done. We have revision B of the drawing created, and let's just update again the bill of material with the drawing and create a new revision. So I'm gonna just save changes and create the new revised bill of material with the changes. So we're going to update, it's going to update the drawing, and you have all those changes. While this is going, notice that we can also operate with different materials. So let's just wait for this to finish, and we'll be good to go, creating all drawings, updating all drawings again. So before we move into that, so let me just see the result, and I'll get back to it just soon. So the new updated BOM then have the latest changes. So if you go into the drawings, you can see that you have the latest drawing for the frame. So let's look for the frame component here. So here it is. There's a frame, and we're going to open the drawing that is created automatically. So that's the latest revision B. So we are on the latest, but you have full traceability to see the previous revision there. So revision A, the first creation we have there, revision A from the document. There we have revision A. So you have full traceability of changes and revisions, and obviously the latest that we are working. We can just now freeze this one as revision B and release this BOM. This will be the bill of material that we're going to send to Deskera. So we're going to do the release, and this we're going to finish by approving the revision, and we'll be good to go to have a finalized BOM with consumable and non-model item added. Notice that you can always see the full bill of material inside SolidWorks, so inside the CAD tool, inside the engineering tool, so you are able to operate at a full bill of material level with all items, inclusive if you need to work with different units of measure, like materials with different raw material codes, and you want to calculate, for example, total lengths. Could be challenging if you are working with, separating this between different Excels and doing math. Notice how we can also manage different units of measure. So you have the length of all those little segments with the same raw material, and you can have a calculation of the total quantity of the pipe of this entire frame. So we can do those sort of automations and make sure that you harvest the power of your data. So this is what we want to bring into, have a digital BOM, automate the integration and get things through digital processes. So we have our bill of material. It's good to go. I think I will hand over to Deskera, and I'm going to send it from OpenBOM, obviously with a button. That's what people ask for. So we have a button to push the bill of material to ERP. So I'm going to push it, and it's done. It's there, sent to Deskera. So I'm going to pass over. Happy to steal the screen and continue the demonstration.
Thank you, Pedro. So now that the bill of material has been pushed over from OpenBOM to Deskera, it is something that you can now see in Deskera broken down by individual part items. And let me go ahead and share my screen and see how that looks like. All right, please let me know if you can see my screen here. Okay, great, thank you. So all the items that we saw earlier in OpenBOM have been ported over here, along with the images, the part numbers, and all the details. As part of this integration, what we have also done is that we have mapped additional details here. So if you want to send over, the associated CAD/CAM files, they can be sent over as well. There are custom fields that you can have mapped here. So if there is any additional information over and above part numbers, material name, etc., for example, barcodes, you can send that over as well. We also map the item to all the relevant accounts. So whenever you're doing any transactions with these items, all the accounting entries, all the journal entries are posted automatically, and you don't have to worry about that. Similarly, on the inventory side, based on the units of measurement that are defined, the units of measurement are going to be created here, and you can map them here. Then a couple of things if you have, if you want to track lead time, etc., for each item, for a finished good, probably not, but for raw materials, yes, you will have lead times, items that you're procuring. So then you can also enter those details here. And if you're tracking these items by a batch number or a serial number or a lot number, then you can enable that too. The BOM structure that we got is already shown here, along with all the mappings for different items, their respective quantities, etc. There are a few things here. So for example, whenever there is a revision, then a new BOM is sent over, then that will automatically create a new revision here. And that is something that will come in. So when we send it over, it will come here like this. And this will have the updated BOM present here. And this will become the default if you want to set it as a default. So you have lots of flexibility. You don't have to create a new SKU every time there is a revision. There are different BOM configurations that you can maintain for the same SKU here. Now, if we go and take a look at some of the individual items or the raw materials that we have gotten from OpenBOM. So you can see the details here. I mean, from an inventory perspective, barcode, etc. If you want to track, that's going to be here. Accounting side, we have already covered. You can have reorder levels and reorder quantities here. So if you want to plan for ordering them automatically from the system, you can set a safety stock level, and then you can set a reorder quantity as well. And if you have a preferred supplier, then the system will automate the creation of a PO, which can be sent for your approval, which you can then just send to your supplier. And then you can have planning based on your lead time. We also allow creation and definition of substitutes. So what are substitutes? Let's say that you're building a custom product. Let's take the example of a t-shirt, for example, right? So when you get a custom t-shirt order, then you can have different color options, you can have different material options, and so on. And you can define those color options. For example, yarn could be one of the things that you have, or maybe in this example for a bike, the bike seat could be in different colors. So you could have different color options there. And when the custom order comes in, then you can swap out the bike seat placeholder SKU with the relevant red bike seat or the yellow bike seat or the blue bike seat and so on. So you have that capability here to swap items as long as you have defined those substitutes. Now, once we have the material master here, then the next step is to send it to production. So we can create a work order directly from here. So if I do that, this work order is going to be created. It will have all the details here about the item. You can set your planned start date, end dates, delivery dates, the quantity that you wish to produce, which warehouse you're going to store this in, and we support multiple warehouses, so you can put it in different warehouses. And on the right hand side, you see the list of all the items that are needed to produce this. Now, if I were to go into the exploded view, so this is a flat structure, so you're seeing a flat view here, but if you have a multi-level BOM structure, then that multi-level view is also going to show up here. And you will be able to view all the different multi-levels here, along with their availability. So in this case, since I am planning to produce one quantity of the finished good, which is the bike, I can see the availability of each of these individual items in my stock, and whatever that is not available is showing up pretty clearly here. So you have this great view to just identify quickly what is not there. You can now take actions on these. So if I don't have something available here, I can create a purchase requisition or a PO right from this screen. If I have multiple things not available here, then I can do an auto create purchase requisition. And if there were multiple items, they would show up here. Right now, since we only have one that is not available, so I see that here. Actually, I can kind of go back and change this quantity to maybe 10, and then we can see how that might look like. If I change this to 10, then I can see that there's a shortfall for most of these items. And when I go to auto create a PR, then it will give me a list of all the items along with the required quantities that I need to create a requisition for. So you don't have to do any math. You don't have to go back to your Excel, etc. It's all there, one click, and you have the entire information in front of you, which you can then send to your procurement department by creating a PR. So when I create a PR, I can go ahead, save that. Oops. So let me just try that one more time. Create PR. Yep, there you go. So once I create a PR and I save this work order, then I can see the requisitions that I have raised under my requisition list. So I have a requisition here, and I can see the status, which is not converted. So this is the task list for the procurement team. Essentially, they can see all the different requisitions, and then they can start converting them into purchase orders and sending them out to different suppliers. Now, there are automations and approval flows that you can add in here. So maybe you want to have the line manager approve any requisition that's going out. In that case, you can set up automations here, and you have an option to create automations for pretty much every workflow that you can think of. And you can set up automations here for requisitions, for POs, etc. So if I were to create a, for the requisition, I can set up an approval condition here. I can define who the approvers are going to be. And only after an approval has been done will the PR go to the procurement team. So going back to the requisition here, once I have a requisition, I can convert this. I can select my supplier. I can put the price. If I have a price book or a price history wherein I have purchased this item before, then that's going to show up here. In this case, since this is the first time that this item has come through, I'm just going to put the value here. And when I'm ready, I can go ahead and convert this to a PO. When I'm creating a PO, I can capture more details here for the PO based on the lead time, etc. All of these values are going to be auto-populated. So the requisition has been converted. And when I go to the purchase order, I can see the list of all the different purchase orders that I have here, along with the status of whether I have received those items or not. So as you will notice, we have 3 different statuses here. So there is partial receipt status. So if you had placed a PO for, let's say, 100 items, and you have received only 50 of them, then that's the status that's going to show up there. If you have not received anything from a PO, then it's going to be not received. And if you have received everything, then this is what you will see there. Now, how do we receive these items into the system? All I have to do is right-click, and I go to Receive Goods here, and I record the receipt of items. Now I can break this down in different ways. I can attach any delivery notes, etc. here. I can track and add additional details here using custom fields. And custom fields is a super useful feature because you have control of what fields you want to see on different screens. And you can use these fields to generate reports, to search, and to filter. So this gives you a lot of flexibility. And you can add different kinds of custom fields. And of course, addition of custom fields is going to be controlled based on your access rights. So not anybody can just go in and add details here, but with the right access rights, you can manage pretty much every detail that you would want to see on any given screen. If I want to split this receipt across different warehouses, for example, then I can do that as well. So instead of maybe 9 in one warehouse, I'm sending 5 to one and 4 to another. Then I can do that here. If I am tracking inventory locations in my warehouse using row, rack, bin, etc., and we have configured that, then you can specify the row, rack, bin where these are going to be stored as well. If you're tracking batch numbers or serial numbers, then this is the screen where you would see the option to provide the batch number or the serial numbers of incoming items. We can even trigger a quality check while receiving items. So if you have defined quality templates here, then you can map them to different materials, and you can trigger them based on different actions. So every action that involves any kind of inventory movement can have a quality check template associated with it, which can be triggered at the right time. So for example, I have a QC mapped here to the good receipt action. And as soon as that happens, this is what is triggered, and you will have your QC template here, and you can define all of these questions that you see here. So you can define your own QC checklist, and then you can define how many passed the QC and how many failed. Going back to purchase orders. So let me go ahead and receive these items here real quick. So I'm just gonna receive them into one warehouse right now. All right. So these items have been received, and you will notice that the status has changed to received now. Now, one question that comes up here is that where can I see these details? Where can I see all the different items that I have in my stock right now? So for that, we have multiple reports here that can help you. So there is the stock availability by warehouse report, wherein you can go and see the availability of different items across different locations. So if you have different warehouses, etc., all of those details are going to show up here. You can even see the row rack bin availability. If you have defined row rack bin for those warehouses, then you will see the row rack bin details as well. Then a few other reports that since we are here, so might as well, quickly talk about it. So a few other reports that are super useful. One is the stock ledger report. So this gives you visibility into the complete history of any given item. So if you have done multiple transactions for any item, then you will be able to track them here. For example, if I were to bring up any item here, batch. Yeah, this one doesn't have anything in this one. So all the different transactions that have happened for that item, be it receiving it, through a purchase, fulfilling that, or delivering that item out, through a sale, or doing an internal transfer from one warehouse to another, all the transactions are going to be captured here. And if you're tracking them by batch or serial, then those details will also show up here. So you will always have that back traceability for all batch and serial numbers for every single number that you have in your stock. So coming back to purchase orders, now the purchase order has been received, so I have sufficient quantity for that particular item. So that is something that I can see in my work order now. So if I go here into the work order, then I can go into the BOM exploded view. And this is the item that we had ordered. So I have sufficient quantity now for this item. And on this screen, you can see the details of, what was the purchase requisition that was raised, etc., and so on. Now, once you have placed orders for all of these items, the next step would be to allocate these items to this work order. If you have purchased the items from PR or a PO from this screen, then they are auto-allocated here. Otherwise, if you already have available items, then you would allocate them here individually. And we have an auto-allocation option here, which allocates items based on first in, first out. Of course, if you're using batch or serial numbers, then you can pick which batches or serial numbers you want to allocate for the work order. And why do we need this allocation? Is because you don't want to count your available inventory twice if you have multiple work orders. So let's say that I have 3 work orders for, from different customers for, bikes. I don't want to count the same frame 3 times. So that's why it's important to allocate. And when I allocate an item, it moves it out of your available inventory. So it goes into reserved stock at that point of time. So you cannot use it again for another work order. So this ensures that your stock availability numbers are up to date in the system. So once I do an auto allocation, I can just go ahead and do a default allocation here, and allocate, and quantities are allocated, and then I can start with my manufacturing process. So for all the different work orders that you are going to have in the system, you can track their progress right on this screen. So for different work orders, you can have the overall work order status, which is whether it is in progress, pending, or completed. Then you can have individual job or task statuses here as well. And let's look at an example of where we have those individual jobs and tasks. So if you have defined the route or the jobs that are associated with any given BOM, then you will be able to track them here along with their status and you can define their durations, their costs, etc., and whatnot. So all of that will then roll up into your material, into your operation cost and operator cost and workstation cost. So all of these tasks that we have defined can be viewed under the job cards screen, where you will have visibility of all the different jobs that are happening across the shop floor. And this is where your operators are going to go in and they can see the jobs that have been assigned to them and then start working on them. You can potentially have a tablet or a workstation next to each machine, and we can filter this list by that workstation. So then you can only see the jobs that are supposed to be done on that particular workstation. And the operators can come in there. They can pick the first job in the queue, start work on it, finish it, pick the next job, and so on. So they can just continue their tasks. And each of these operations can have multiple details in here. So of course, you will have your planned start date and end date, but you will also capture the actual start and end times as well. So you will have that comparison between actuals and planned, and you can use that to identify any bottlenecks or efficiency issues in the process. You can map these to workstations, you can assign operators here, and you can leave instruction for operations here. This can also be used to capture any notes from your operators on the task. You can also define dependencies between these tasks. And if you have defined dependencies, then that's going to help you with the scheduling piece as well, because then you cannot start one task till you finish another. So you will be able to define dependencies between all of these tasks here. All of these tasks or jobs have their own barcode. So if you have printed a traveler, and that is something that you can do right from here. For example, I can go in here and I can print a traveler out, and this will show me all the items that I'm using in that job along with all the different tasks and their barcodes. Then you can just scan that barcode on the relevant workstation using either a barcode scanner or your tablet camera or the phone camera. So we have a phone app that allows you to scan everything. And you can just scan it to bring that job up immediately. There's another useful view here from an administrative perspective, which is the scheduling view. And the scheduling view gives you an overview of all the different work orders that are running in the system, along with their interdependencies and jobs and tasks and statuses. So we have this here. We can see that for this item, we had raised a purchase order. So that purchase order was raised, and I can see the status that it is green. So we have already received this purchase order. If this was blue, then it would mean that we have not received the PO as yet. I can expand all of these different items here to see the interdependencies of various tasks, etc. And you can move these around here on this screen. If you need to reschedule something, you can move them around, and this will auto-arrange based on the dependencies that you have defined in the system. So this gives you that overall view where you can see how many different tasks you have, how are the different tasks linked to each other, and it helps you with the overall planning and scheduling of any work order and all the different work orders here. And if you want to drill down from this view into any individual order, into any individual task, you can do that as well. So there is a lot of flexibility here for you to go ahead and make changes based on how you want to prioritize your work orders and tasks. Now, once a work order has been completed, then you can send it to a quality check, which is something that you can see here. So if you have quality check applied, then that quality check is going to be triggered upon the completion of a work order, and you will be able to see that here. So you can see all the items that have been triggered due to a work order being completed versus a stock adjustment or a good receipt and so on. So you can always generate those reports right from here. You can also do forecasting here to manage your supply chain better. So for example, if you have an item that you want to plan for the next few months, and you have a forecast for that, then you can put that forecast here, and the system will generate the required materials that you need to fulfill the forecast that you have. So in this case, I have a bunch of items that are part of the BOM that I need to generate this base plate, for example. And then I can go in here and put my forecasts, or these forecasts can be generated based on your previous historical data. And then it tells me if I have sufficient quantities for these periods or not. So for example, for Callan here, I have sufficient quantity till August, but I am going to fall short in September. So it is asking me to create a PO. And this takes into account all the incoming and outgoing transactions that are associated with this item. So it is going to predict that for you, so you don't have to do the math. It's right here in front of you, and you can manage your supply chain better. Just want to do a quick time check, Jared. So
it is 11:40. So maybe if we could try to open it up for questions, that would be great.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Awesome. Well,
Perfect.
hey,
I see. Oh, I was going to
Jesse,
say, I saw
take it
a couple questions in the chat. The first question was on the general tab, I think from Alex. Does Deskera bring in the info from SolidWorks OpenBOM, talking revisions and file links if they're already in OpenBOM? And the answer that, go for it, Sard.
Yes, we do. So any revisions, etc., are going to come through from OpenBOM to Deskera, and every revision will have its own config. So you can also view those different revisions on Deskera side.
Absolutely. We also can, and I don't know if we looked at it on the work order screen, but you can add attachments. So if there's attachments, standard operating procedures, all of that can be attached on the work order or job card screen.
That is correct.
Another question we had was, for inventory, can you manage multiple storage locations, which we showed when we showed the multiple warehouses? So absolutely, we can do that. And then I see another question around serial numbers. I don't know if we're going to get to all the questions, so we may have to answer some of these offline, but can you associate multiple serial numbers with a license plate for crate shipping? So on an incoming shipment, can we associate multiple serial numbers?
We can. So so there are a few serial number questions that I see here, right? I mean, so the short answer to all of them is yes. We do track serial numbers. So when you have a serial number tracking option enabled for any of the items, then for every transaction, anytime there is a movement, you will be able to specify the serial number associated with that particular item.
Awesome. I think we probably have a question for two more. What financial packages are there integrations with? So we're an open API, so we can integrate with any system that has APIs on the other side. We frequently see customers integrate with things like QuickBooks. We've integrated with larger systems like SAP. We've integrated with, I would say, a bunch. It really depends on, as long as they have APIs on the other side, we can build it out, and we typically do all of that in-house.
And just to add on to that, even if there are no APIs, we have options to do secure FTP integration. So that's so some of our larger customers have legacy systems that they have been using for 10, 15 years, and they don't want to move away from that, but they have so for them, we have a batch process that we have built out, wherein there's a secure FTP option where they can we send files at a regular interval, and they just read it into their system.
I see a few more. Jared and I will connect, and we'll send an email out, because you can ask questions. We've got a couple emails that we'll share for the Deskera team, as well as there's a couple questions for the OpenBOM team that Jared just dropped in the chat.
Great, everyone. Let me share some contact information for both our teams real quick. That is going to be for Deskera, and of course for OpenBOM, you can reach out to sales@openbom.com, dropping that in the link as well. And Terry does have one more question. How long has Deskera been around for?
We've been around since 2008. Sarab himself has been on the team since I think 2011. We have had a couple iterations of the Deskera software. We had built the software in 2008, and about 3 to 4 years ago, we revamped the UI on it. So what you're seeing today is our version 2. It's got a little more updated UI. Our legacy UI was similar to a legacy ERP system look. And we decided to kind of revamp that and make it a lot more user-friendly and really align with what we're using in our normal day-to-day.
Awesome. Well, everyone, we would like to say thank you for joining us. Of course, if there were any questions that were not answered, or if you guys would like to go into any more detail, please feel free to reach out to either of our companies. The contact information is in the chat. Again, thank you, everyone, and we look forward to speaking with you guys soon.
Right. Thank you.
Take care,
Have
guys.
a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Thanks.